have a quick look at gold. Gold is obviously part of what we might consider commodities, and it really is a little bit all over the place. If you have a look at it from a monthly perspective, it's very much overextended, and it is very much battling with this 33.30 level. It's battling to get past that, but it's quite bullish as well. Now, it's not that far away from the moving averages. It's more that it really hasn't had a connection with the moving averages in well over a year, and it is historically in a bit of a bubble. But I have to say, when I take a magnifying glass and I go look at it a lot closer, it's actually looking really good, though. And what we have here specifically is a consolidation on the weekly. It's very similar to what happened in October. We had a wedge form here that ultimately broke out. We've got a wedge kind of forming here with slightly lower highs and higher lows. Alternatively, you could just put it in a box and just say it's range bound. But this consolidation means that it's not tired. It's taking a breather as we speak now, and therefore recharging itself. Could it break to the downside and come back down towards 3,000 at some point? I wouldn't be surprised if we did have a correction down towards 3,000, but I wanted to say that at this point it seems very reluctant to head lower. It's battling about going higher, but when you look at it on the weekly and then when you look at it on the daily, it is looking very much as though it's biding its time before it can break higher. And if it does break higher, I think 3,500, 3,000, maybe 4,000 is not outside of the realm of possibility. Okay. If it breaks lower, then I think 3,000 is on the table. So right now, I'm not seeing any potential use for it, at least not this week. And I'll keep an eye out for that. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is performing incredibly well. And again, if I've been doing my duty and putting content on here on a regular basis, you would have known about this. This is a bull flag. We've broken to the upside. I have to say, from a monthly perspective, Bitcoin was, especially during April and May, when the markets were all over the place, this was just one of the best quality trends out there, technically. And it just still looks good. It still looks good. And I still think there's the potential for it to work its way up here. So 120, 130, 140 is a possibility. At some point, yes, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a correction. We've had corrections in the past. It's ridiculous to think that we won't have a correction at some point in the future. And if we do, it can always come back down to the previous lows, or it could be bigger than that. But definitely, in my opinion, I think that gold and Bitcoin are now, Bitcoin is being added to gold as a potential alternative, and therefore possible wealth building, but also a little bit of a safe haven away from the dollar. It's in a class of its own in terms of cryptocurrencies, compared to things like Dogecoin and Fartcoin and silly stuff like that, even over Ethereum. Okay, so definitely keeping an eye on that. Going down to that daily perspective, I don't see any entry opportunities currently. We would need to see a pullback, and in fact, at that point, a pullback here to this level, which could potentially turn out to be support, would be amazing. But any pullback into the moving averages, if I see that, I will alert it to my platinum subscribers. Draw your attention, but I'm looking for that. And right now, it looks really good. So Bitcoin, I think still this trend is intact, and I think it still has further upside. I think any pullbacks here, to me, would represent potential buying opportunities. All right, let's have a look at a few other things that we need to be paying attention to. So we'll run through the Dow.